Hello, it's Mr. Dudley Hart here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about what equipment you're going to need for when you start school in September. It's a big change moving from primary school, where you are in the same classroom for most of the time, to secondary school, where you have lots of different lessons in lots of places and you need to be properly equipped for all of them. So I'm going to talk you through what you will need for most of your lessons at Cooper's and some of the lessons where you'll need specific equipment. Okay, so it's really important that when you are packing your bag the night before, that you look at your timetable and you see what lessons that you've got the next day, and you do make sure that you have your pencil case in your bag and that you've got all of the things that you need. So first of all, inside your pencil case, which you should always have in your school bag, you will need the following equipment. Pens. Now, if you complete your summer task, so all the summer tasks which are in the transition booklet, you will find yourself the owner of a lovely Cooper's Company and Coborn school pen, just like these ones here. You will need pencils. You will need a pencil sharpener. You will need an eraser, a ruler, a glue stick, a school planner, and in a separate video I've talked to you about how to use your school planner for recording homework, a set of coloured pencils, scissors, and highlighters. And as I said, you need to make sure that you have all of this equipment on you for every lesson, and your form tutors may well do equipment checks in the morning just to check that you are being organised and that you do have all of these things. Because if you don't, you may be able to borrow some of the necessary equipment from someone, but you may not, and therefore you may not be able to take part fully in the lesson. Now, for maths, there are some specific bits of equipment that you need. First of all, a calculator. We, as the maths department, have recommended the Casio F83 GT Plus and Casio calculators in general. I believe that this model has been discontinued recently, so the newer version of this is the Casio FX83 GTX, but it's really important that you have a calculator for every maths lesson. You may not need it every maths lesson, but you won't know whether you will need it or not, and you then may find that you can't take part in the maths lesson if you don't have your calculator or your compass or your protractor or the geometry stencil. So for every maths lesson you should have all of these pieces of equipment. For food and nutrition, you do not need this for every lesson, but when you have a practical lesson you will need the following pieces of equipment. You will need your dishcloth for washing up. You will need your tea towel. You will need your school apron. You will need to have containers to bring your weighed ingredients to school. Now, ideally you'd have reusable plastic containers, though you can bring them in plastic bags, but they're less good for the environment. And in order to do that, you will need to have some kitchen scales at home to weigh out your ingredients before you bring them to school. If you don't, you can weigh your ingredients in the morning in the food technology rooms, but you will not have time to do it in the lesson because you only have an hour to get everything cooked and washed up and tidied away. So you will not be able to weigh your ingredients in the lesson. You should also have a sealable container for storing and taking home cooked food. You have already had the list of PE kits, which is extensive, and you will need to bring in the correct items of kit depending on what sports you'll be doing, and you will be told that by the PE staff. At the start of term there will be a full kit check done by the PE department, and the most crucial thing is that all of your PE kits must have your name in it. The languages department recommend that you purchase a sturdy zip wallet in order to keep your languages books together and to stop them being damaged and falling apart throughout the year, and a pocket dictionary for the language that you are doing. These are not mandatory, and given that many people use things like the internet for looking up vocabulary when they're at home, you may decide not to purchase a dictionary, but the language department recommend these two items. And again, the art department, you will have bought your art sketchbook, which will be kept in school. You'll have bought that online, and they've talked about your art sketchbook in the Welcome to the Department video. But they recommend it would be useful to have colouring pencils and paints